Hi, this is pilleater. I'd like to discuss a very important topic, what we are doing on YouTube. Are we studying or consuming? What do we get from YouTube? Since watching TV and reading the newspaper was a boomer thing, we as millennials and Zoomers get to consume in self-made media that is controlled by a few megacorporations, ironically. YouTube becomes our own personal library, but are we connected to it? Do we watch videos for entertainment or for education? What is the difference between studying to improve our skills and intelligence versus consuming from Pornhub long plays and staring at a flickering screen? We have to define what's the difference between studying and consumption from a very important platform that is defining as the new television. We have to remember there are 4 different video learning methods that we can get from YouTube. They are oration, which is a speech, kind of like what happens in the Toastmasters International Club. It's like listening to a Jonathan Bowden speech. You learn from it. Maybe an hour, it may be 40 minutes. We can only hear it. There's no visuals. It's just like listening to the radio. Or it may be a dialogue between 2 or 3 people, and we chime in onto it. There is a screencast, and this is a PowerPoint keynote slide, and that is watching the screens while listening. And this is exactly a screencast. A few people do it, but at bare minimum, most educational professors do it anyway, and teachers. But most importantly on YouTube, we have something called edutainment. And that is a flashy video with lo-fi hip-hop beats mixing screencasting with fast edits of animated images, charts, and quotes. This is most of what is called YouTube academia. Think of Contrapoints or Ryan Folk. And then there's something what I'd like to call the selfie, and that's just a guy talking in front of a camera. It's like an actual real speech or listening to the guy right in front of you. I've tried to do the selfie, but the selfie only works if you have a really good camera, put on some makeup, and create a fictional image like Blair White or something, or Markiplier. We learn new things from these methods, but also consider the method and how it's presented. Why do we like edutainment over just a simple selfie video? Are we dumbing down the way we learn things? Or has technology become more advanced and we realize new wisdom and information is worth nothing? I mean, already I'm telling you some wisdom and information right now coming at light speed, and you could just Google search something and pick up something your professors are not even teaching you. Google gets the job done more than what I can do in this video. And so we have to value these things. Let's take a look at the definition of studying. Studying is the devotion of time and attention to acquiring knowledge on an academic subject, especially by the means of books. For example, the study of English, or an application to continue full-time study. Can't we self-discipline ourselves and read books on our own? It sounds so simple, especially whatever you consider an academic subject, which will help us grow. You have to ask, how long does it take to read a book? A section from a book? How much does it take from our own day to learn something new? I believe reading 200 words cost us a minute of our time. So if you use basic math, a 2,000 word essay can be read in 10 minutes. And that's important. Word count over page count. And just think by using logic and math. We need to read and understand the text in order to create rules and meanings that will be kept into memory and experience through our gray cells into our own brains. That's just the scientific way of thinking about this. You know, that is how we learn new things. It's almost like exercising. Note that this isn't parroting. Chinese and autistic people are good at parroting, or mimicking what other people say to get a cookie or a reward or play a game of Simon, like a pattern. But rather, what new knowledge helps us grow as intellectual people? There are so many people that parrot the philosophy of Deleuze and Guattari as to make them sound pretentious and good, and people do it all the time. But what can we define as permanent information that we really sincerely know what we're talking about and studying to help us grow? And when can we study YouTube to make us better people? And this contradicts consumerism. And the definition of consumerism is the protection or promotion of the interest in consumers, or the preoccupation of society with the acquisition of consumer goods. Another way to put it, here's a definition of consumers: a person who purchases goods and services for personal use, or a person or thing that eats or uses something. So we all use YouTube like we drink water. But when is water good for our own self-improvement? We might need water to quench our thirst, but do we really need YouTube like breathing? How can we separate the cult-like behavior and habitual addiction of YouTube? Much of the Verso books academics and postmodern philosophies are against capitalism. And YouTube is a sign of capitalism, that there is a merchant and we are being exploited as consumers into that product. Capitalism is bad. It degrades us as people and perverts our morals. And so consumerism is for the weak-minded, the passive soy boy, as it became popular in the alt-right to describe a weak person. But consumerism is based on a capitalist society and system. And when things get degraded as a product, we are ironic and insincere about things. We detach ourselves from what is meaningful. So we really have to pay attention of what videos are informative to our own spiritual growth. Where do we stand as content creators? Content creators is the newest fad of trying to label the artist as a mechanical capital creator. And again, it devalues art into nothing and for consumption. If I'm here to act like Sam Hyde, I have no higher meaning. If I'm acting like Sam Hyde, I am trying to attract people who have no authentic interest in me and want to consume in something that makes them feel they are a part of society. Sam Hyde is a cool hipster who hates hipsters, and the people who like Sam Hyde are other cool hipsters, and therefore they want to be like him. And all of the end of 2016 and most of 2018, I tried to do comedy skits like Sam Hyde, and I realized it didn't work. There's a certain duty to create art, as it will transform metapolitics and discord into something greater. I simply don't want to be Blair White with a computer screen trying to lead people, this dictatorship, this Markiplier or Jacksepticeye. Again, there's no higher meaning. It's this worship of the role model. But YouTube gives us a platform to be truly free. But the elites hate it when we preach something that doesn't make money. Why should we play the game of free speech when it just means let the elites control the game? Libertarians also fall under this argument of advocating for free speech, but there's certainly a limit of what is considered free speech. If you truly are free, you don't play by rules of anyone. You're just a savage criminal. And I certainly don't want to be dubbed a content creator. I feel like I'm doing God's work by spreading the gospel, as I'm being my own professor or doctor, like Dr. Hunter S. Thompson, a guru maybe, if you will. So, how do you spend your time watching videos? Are you staring at nothing? Hurting your eyes so you can start wearing glasses and become a soy boy? A new male? Are you consuming into something to forget about pain and anxiety that happens every day in bumfuck middle America? That is the place you are living right now. Are you hanging out with internet friends on Google Hangouts as a cyberpunk surrogate and embracing virtual reality? A lot of people now are doing that on Discord as the way to make friends. Or are you actually learning something from this video? And you're actually watching me to learn what I have to say, and you're valuing my position. You know, you're not just watching this because this is pilleater and you want to know what pilleater is something who's up to, you know. You want to learn something from this, and this is what I'm trying to transmit into your gray cells. So it's like going to the gym. Going to the gym requires self-discipline. You hurt yourself to make your body better. Learning requires you to understand or operate how to read a book. You can't just buy a gun and expect to, you just have to pull the trigger. Dumb people don't know how to operate anything. It requires reading the manual before you do something, or a prerequisite to really do something in, say, chemistry. I recommend reading Greg Johnson's article, Graduate School of Heidegger, released in 2016, and Aaron Clary's book, Bachelor Pad Economics, for a real autodidactic discipline. Graduate School of Heidegger says that you can surrogate graduate school by teaching yourself to read Heidegger for 2 years. And Aaron Clary's book, Bachelor Pad Economics, tells you how you can do everything as a man with saving the most amount of money and really improving yourself. But again, these two disciplines require an autodidactic behavior and you as a person to change yourself, and not everyone can do that. Remember, you must be trained in the right way to grow as a person. Avoid consumption at all costs. Be critical of capitalist society and the consumer culture that makes up all of the YouTube community. And again, be skeptical about your leaders. Question where your money is going, your super chats and the internet figures you worship. Nobody can do this. And it's very sad that this is the fate of consuming YouTube. Let's create educational media and a new academia that will train people in esoteric subjects like what Jonathan Bowden used to do. Thanks for listening. Click the subscribe button at www.youtube.com/pilleater. Subscribe now.